I know it's basic and seems mundane, but the amount of times I've seen people with car keys like this or bits of tape wrapping up these buttons to try to get them to work. And often they ask me, is there anything we can do about this? And you're like, yes, of course there is. You can go on Amazon and buy a replacement case. And unfortunately, often, because they've been doing it for so long with a bit of tape, that the PCB gets knackered. So as soon as it's an issue, please just get straight on Amazon, eBay, down the marketplace, wherever you go normally, and just pick up a replacement case. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. I've even noticed some of the keycone places do it in town, so it's definitely a common thing, and it's something we've been doing for years. But if you're going to do it, you've got to be careful with certain keys. So this is a Renault key. We're going to be doing that today. And the reason you have to be careful, and I'm not sure if it applies to Renault, is that often you have additional chips and gadgetry in the key itself, which obviously is a big problem. Now, the Renault key is lucky on this particular format because you can actually remove the key itself, which is awesome. Some of them, they are fixed into the plastic, so you'll have to go get them taken to a keycone place. However, some of them, of course, the replacement cases are compatible enough that you can actually use the plastic. So I'm actually going to try that now, just as a bit of an experiment, just to see if it fits. Because often they do, often they don't. You just really can't tell. And yeah, I think you could get away with it. It's definitely not the ideal fit, but it definitely does fit. So if you wanted just the quick and dirty, get you out of jail free, that would work. Now we're going a little bit more in depth today because of course we want to do a whole complete transplant. And you can see this is held into the existing frame with these nubbins. Now I'm first going to just try some side cutters on those. That's good, that works a right treat. So we're going to get that out no problem. And just before we move over, you can see, of course, this battery clip, everything like that in the old key. So what I would do first is just let's transfer those over because they're the basic things. So we'll pop that in there. Oh, that's a bit of a tight squeeze, isn't it? Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And then we're going to move to putting this in. Now look, this is a slightly different design from the existing one, which is a bit weird, isn't it? So, not a problem. And it's the same process again if you're just changing the battery on these things. You're going to have to go in and dig the old battery out. So I'm going to pull the tab. You can see it's particularly fiddly for no good reason. In fact, I almost think, there we go. And we can see what the existing plastics look like, and it's a bit odd they haven't fitted these, so they're leaving these to you to fit, and we are going to have to use a soldering iron a little bit because we need to weld these down. So I'm just popping that in. Fitted those in, but I've not welded them down yet because we're going to need to do the same to this. Soldering iron is on. Now I am checking in here, there's no chips, so we'll see spaces on some of these boards where there are little chips actually glued in. You will have to transfer those. Those are RFID devices that the car uses for the security system, and on this one you can see it's actually fitted to the main board, which is quite convenient, so we don't actually have to transfer that. The board looks good, buttons work well. If you need to, you can replace your tack switches. You can see they're just standard ones here, but these ones are absolutely fine. And just please refer to any other video where we've worked with tack switches before. There's not really too much to go wrong on those. So I'm just pushing that in and just making sure it's clicking nicely. So we have our soldering iron now. Try to clean it to the point where there's not too much solder on it, because you don't really want any solder. And we're just going to use, zoom in so you can have a quick look. We're just going to use the side of the iron, because I just want to heat this up and then melt it down like that. See? Like a little mushroom. Let's do the same on this one. Again, I'm putting a bit of pressure on the PCB because I do want that to stay down. And you see, like, that didn't really take too much effort at all, and it's certainly not really fouled the soldering iron tip either, which is nice. And this one's a little bit more tricky because we've got to get in there. So I'm just going to first do this clip here because it's a little bit narrow. And that one is involving a bit of contortion. But with it, I can actually hear from the sound of it that there is a little bit of fiberglass in that mix, which is nice. And what you can do, you can always wet your finger, and once you heat it, just push it down like that. There's just one more to do in here. You could probably apply a bit of glue to these as well if you were a bit uncomfortable soldering. But that's fine, that's in now, so hopefully the old battery will snap into place. And it does. I mean, it's a bit of a loose fit, actually. I wonder if we've got the opportunity to upgrade this, because this battery is a CR2016. And I think I do have... Nope, the kids got them for their bicycles. But you can get these in fatter sizes, and that's what I was looking for, because this holder is a little bit more of a deep fill, so you could definitely get the fatter battery in. But what I will do, because it is a little bit loose as it stands, I'm going to take the battery out, and I'm going to use the opportunity to bend up these legs a little bit so that we have a bit more grip on the cell that we do have going in there. There we go. That's that one. This is the last lobe. Because you don't want it wobbling around, that's for sure. Oh, now it's particularly tight. That's good though. That's what we wanted. Get in there. Right. So snap them back together. Put in the screw, and hopefully when you blip that, your car will respond, but that remains to be seen. Good tight screw. And there we are. Clicks nicely. I'll go and have a quick test. And it works fantastically. Good. Another job done. I know it's a simple job, but it's got that sense of satisfaction, eh? Get on with it. Go fix your keys.